Hello? Beautiful. Can everybody hear me in the back? Yes? Beautiful. Thank you so much. I'll put it here. Better. This? Good morning. I'm Paula Tapia. I'm going to be your moderator this morning for our wisdom talk. And we're going to be discussing about Ayurveda and wellness. And before we start, of course, I would like to introduce to our guests, Dr. Padma Nayani, Clinical Administrator at the Raju's Institute of Ayurveda. Good morning. Thank you so much. Please have a seat. Dr. Smita Naram, co-founder of Ayush Shakti, a global Ayurvedic center. María Alejandra Avcharian, Ayurvedic medicine therapist, joining us from Uruguay. Anand Mehotra, founder of Sattva Yoga Academy in Rishikesh, India. Thank you so much for joining us. So, before we start, let's open the conversation about Ayurveda and the power of Ayurveda to manifest wellness into our life. That Ayurveda really has the power of healing. It's a very open conversation to have. Who would like to start? Alejandra? I'll give you this. Yes,
break the ice.
I have two. Yes, beautiful.
Namaste to all. Well, Ayurveda, Ayurveda means the science of life. And I think Ayurveda is great for us because it teaches us a path for self-knowledge. So Ayurveda encourages us to understand our body, understand our mind, and when we can understand our nature, we can transform ourselves. I always say, that when our body hurts or our mind is disconnected, we can't be concentrated in our spiritual path because our body hurts, our mind is disturbed. So we must align our body, our mind, and our spirit. That's the main law, let's say, that Ayurveda encourages us. That's why I believe that's great, because we can do small changes in our life using these practices that Ayurveda brings to us to be connected and rooted in our life. So sometimes when we talk about Ayurveda, it seems that it's very difficult to understand, no? It's like, but Ayurveda, to be simple, I always want to try things to become very simple so everybody understand. What Ayurveda teaches us is about our composition. Which element is in our body, which element is in our mind. And when we understand our elements, which one is missing, which one is out of balance, we can make little adjustments to be in peace and harmony. So, I think this is I don't know if somebody else wants to add something, but just to begin with.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Padmanayani Raju from Hyderabad, Dr. Raju's Panchakarma Center. I would like to talk about Ayurveda because this Ayurveda is now people say it's from how long it is, but 10,000 years old knowledge, classical knowledge, which our Acharyas has given us. And we believe that it has come from Brahma's Smriti. Brahma Smrit Vayusho Veda Prajapati Majigrahat Soshvinautau Sahasraksham So Atri Putradi Kanmunin. So it came directly from Brahma. Brahma is the creator. So he had it in his mind that Ayurveda is very much essential for the human mankind now. So diseases are existing, and Ayurveda teaches about prevention. How to prevent a disease. First and foremost, if you prevent, you don't need to think about the disease. No other system, no other medical system tells you about prevention except for Ayurveda. Ayurveda Vaidyas always want people to be healthy and not be coming again and again for health reasons. For prevention reasons, you can. You can detoxify, you can always do it by yourself, and you can always do it with under the guidance of the Vaidyas. So this is a special method of cleansing processes, and everything is given by our Acharyas. That many years ago, like 10,000 years ago, even in our holy books in Ramayana, Mahabharata, there are traces of Ayurveda. There are teachings of Ayurveda. In Ramayana, when Lakshmana was fainted, Sanjeevan was brought from Himalayas. So, which again brought him back to his consciousness. So this way, Ayurveda is there in all our holy granthas. That means it is coming into the Creator's mind that when He created a human body, mankind, He created the solution for their diseases and prevention. So Ayurveda is how to live good, happy, healthy life. A Veda, science, which tells about how to live happily. So we have several ways of making our lives easier. If we follow simple things by following certain rules. These are not like thumb rules. You have to do it, otherwise you will tend to have diseases. You can be relaxed and do it in your leisure time. But our Ayurveda says right from the morning till you go to bed, what to do if you can. Brahmi Muhurta Uttishte. Because in the Brahmi Muhurta, if you are waking up, Brahmi Muhurta is Brahma. Again I said, Brahma is the creator. So, when you are waking up in the morning, you will have creativity. You will have more relaxation to think about things and work more with your mind. Mm-hmm. It connects you with the mind. Simply, our elders said, if you wake up in the morning and study, it remains in your mind forever. This is like a rule. But the thing is, that is the creativity time, that is the Vata time. Vata is for movement, for intelligence. So, when you are waking up in that intelligent time, when the Brahma is giving us blessings, we say in that way, then people follow it like, oh, I am going to get Brahma's blessings. So, whatever you do, it strengthens. Even if you do chanting, even if you do anything. And that is the Vata period. 2 to 6 is the Vata period. So between that time, if you could wake up, your energy will be more. But again, the same Acharya said, when your food is properly digested. When the food is digested, you can wake up at that time and you can do the other things. And if you are waking up after 6, is the Kapha time. Kapha is more of stability. Of course, every dosha has its own pros and cons. So, Kapha is stable, but at the same time, a little laziness, little sluggishness. So, you feel the whole day little lazy. Mm-hmm. It is said in the Vedas, na diva, don't sleep during the daytime. People think that not to sleep after food, after the lunch or something. But waking up after 6 is also considered as diva, morning. So you should not sleep after 6 o'clock. That is the first and foremost step you have to follow. From 6 to 10 is the kapha time. So you do all kinds of different things, getting ready to your things. And 6 to 10 in the evening is the sleeping time. You have to sleep at that time, then your body takes good rest. Kapha is for rest. And 10 to 2 is the most important time. Follow with the sun. In olden days, there were no clocks. So sun was the thing which our acharyas, everybody used to do Sandhya Vandana in the morning and evening and afternoon also. Trikala Sandhyas means offering to the god sun, because sun is the existing god. So we offer water, and it is like just a small thing to pray and give our wishes to God that give me strength to overcome. So that is the most important time where, according to the sun, your Agni inside is also acting. So from morning 6 to 10, sun is slow. So take very light breakfast, like fruits or very simple breakfast, or something like mung dal is very good, like mung dal made preparations, such kind of light breakfast. 10 to 2 is the peak time of the Agni, outer as well as inside. So take something heavier food during the 10 to 2 time, and in the night again 10 to 2 is the time for your sleep. That is the time for assimilation. So from 6 to 10 you have to finish your dinner, and from 10 to 2 you have to sleep. Because from 10 to 2 your micronutrients are formed. And you cannot buy these micronutrients even if you spend any amount of money. You have to prepare your own micronutrients. to keep you healthy. And from 2 to 6 again the Vata time, you can be awake. So not exactly at 2 o'clock because Brahmi Muhurta starts from 3:30. So from 3:30 to 6 o'clock you can wake up any time to make your system work more efficiently, more intelligently, more creatively. So this is the clock you have to maintain for healthy keeping of your body. And there is also Dinacharya told by our Acharyas. If there is time, I would like to tell that Dinacharya, but I will hand over to the other Vaidyas who have more and more knowledge for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The healing journey can be also overwhelming, and following the steps can be actually very challenging for most of us. So in which ways do you support your patients, your clients, for them to progressively, little by little, incorporate these different tools into their daily living?
Wonderful, Paula. That was really great question, because that's what I do for last 37 years. I'm working for 37 years, practicing, and I have practitioners trained by me, certified by our institution, which is Ayush Ministry of Health recognized. And these practitioners across the world have helped 1.5 million people so far. And what we do is I believe in giving very simple wisdoms, because it can be very overwhelming to follow everything at once. Especially in today's life, it is almost impossible. I personally published 50 plus research papers on chronic health diseases in America, British and European medical journals, and the principles which really have helped people gain health and prevent illnesses are very simple, and I'm going to just talk those principles right now, and using your own kitchen, how you can heal yourself quickly. So first thing is that you need to balance yourself. You have been listening about Vata, Pitta, Kapha, etc. So balance the doshas, balance the mind, emotions, everything. The whole class was sick at once from the viral infection. Everybody absent, all together. He also had a fever, high fever. And when there is fever, this is one principle, please note it down. Use it in your life for prevention. When there is fever, the body says, I have toxins. Wait, rest, rest. This is what my guru, who lived up to 124 years, taught us. And he learned it from the master who was a physician to Lord Buddha, Vaidya Jivaka. So he followed this principle of Agni and Ama, and he said when there are toxins, the infections cannot be controlled by the immune system because it is blocked. It's not able to reach the site of infection. So fasting, fasting, fasting. At 6 years of age, my son did 2 days of water fasting. The whole class took antibiotics, okay, as usual. And then the fever was gone. His friends had still fever 3 to 4, 5 days. They had to keep taking the antibiotic pills. After 2nd days, he says, Mom, I want to eat cheese. I want to eat pizza, pasta. And I'm saying, Krishna, my dear son, what is this cough, mucus coming? He says it's very sticky, it's very green. So you don't eat anything which produces sticky and green things in your body. No cheese, no milk product, no wheat. And he did that. You will not believe me. In 2 days, he was in the school jumping all over, while 80% of the class was still sick and had no energy. Whoever came after popping the pills were so exhausted, they were not able to even play. So these are simple principles of life, The second principle, Pitta, I will share always stories because I have like unlimited stories, I've published so many research papers and all. One more principle, simple, acidity, acid reflux, we all get it. And we just pop in the pills, thinking that PPI, the proton pump inhibitors, are a great way to control acidity. I had one patient, she comes in Austria. I tell her by looking at the pulse, you have acid. No, I don't have that. After some time, you know, for last 10 years, I am taking pantoprazole, PPI. So that's suppressing the acid reflux. I told her that this acid which you are suppressing and stopping by taking the pills itself is helping to digest the food. So one side you have gas, bloated. She says, I'm taking acid reflux is not coming, but I have constant pain, bloated and gas in my tummy. What shall I do? I said, first you increase your digestion by stopping heavy food like fried. Again, another principle, take care of your agni. Take care of your metabolism and digestion, because even if you take the greatest vitamins on this planet and calcium and vitamin D, so many people still get osteoarthritis, osteoporosis. Why? They can't digest, they can't absorb, they can't metabolize them back into the bones. So protect your agni. Protect your digestion and metabolism. So I told her, stop everything which is depleting it. She had a mental stress. She was angry. This is another sign of excessive pitta in the body. She could not handle her colleagues bullying on her, trying to take away credit of her own work, and it was making her feel angry, instead of trying to find a solution to handle that. So I told her, stop wheat. This is another principle. Please write it down. These are nuggets coming from my experience. Wheat, milk, dairy products, red meat and deep fried. These 4 things will kill your digestion, kill your metabolism. Stop them as much as possible. And if you take them by chance, next meal, only vegetable soup, only green mung bean soup. That's it. You balance it instantly. Don't you clean your house on a daily basis? This is the house of the soul. You have to keep it clean constantly. Keep it clean, keep it strong. That's it. So, I gave her a home remedy which anybody with acid reflux can use it, because it cools the pitta and it improves the agni. 1 teaspoon each of cumin, coriander and fennel seed powder. Okay? Half a teaspoon of ginger. So cumin, coriander and fennel is calming pitta, at the same time helping improve the digestion. And half a teaspoon ginger. I told her to make a tea and take this tea 2 or 3 times a day, every day, and stop everything which increases pitta. So first we have to improve digestion, because only then your stomach is going to work very well. Second, increase balance pitta by stopping things which increases heat in the body. Sour, fermented, pickle, spicy, those things, just stop that. She did that for 6 months. And she took some herbal formulas. This was in Vienna. We have a clinic in Vienna. And she went out of this, but also she had such a less anger that she could handle same complication in the office that she was getting irritated in a very successful way. So I always tell people the key to vibrant health is really detox to renew. Like your house, you clean it up regularly and then you build it up, you renew it on a daily basis. So just finishing, detox. By doing 6 to 7 days of mung and vegetable fasting, vegetable soup fasting. Yesterday, I had a session on detox to renew where I described the fasting in detail. If you want to know more, there is a Smita who can give you the whole presentation as gift to you, because my purpose is to spread the knowledge that you can use in your life and improve your quality of life instantly. And the last thing, first cleanse this regularly, and the last one, build your health on a daily basis by taking right nourishment. So the one smoothie formula, which is greatest nourishment for all the tissues, and then I finish my talk. The smoothie formula has 10 almonds, 4 walnuts. If you are not diabetic, you can use 2 or 3 dates. Use some carrot and beetroot juice, cardamom little bit, and fennel seed, avocado and flaxseed. Just crush it together and drink this smoothie on a daily basis. Somebody who is doing hatha yoga and great yoga every day or exercise should add vegan protein, because protein we don't get enough. So pure vegan protein, no chemicals in that at all. No flavor, no chemicals. And make this smoothie, you can add apple for tasting or anything and drink it every day. Trust me, you will have so much of energy throughout the day, but your tissues will keep nourished all the time. You will stay healthy, anti-aging. So that's the power of following simple principles in your life. That's it.
Thank you. Can you please? Anand, let's talk about spiritual wellness. In which way Ayurveda as a whole system can support our spiritual healing?
You see, Ayurveda itself is a spirit-based medicine, right? It's a consciousness-based medicine as opposed to treating the body purely as a mechanical activity, looking at the body as a machine. Ayurveda looks primarily as a body as an expression of consciousness. The origin of Ayurveda scripturally, as some of our esteemed speakers have already spoken to, lie in the Vedas, right? It's one of the 4 Upaveda. And when you look at the Vedas with roots, the Ayurveda having roots in Rig Veda and Atharva Veda, the 4 Upavedas of Sthapatya, Gandharva, Dhanur, and then the Ayurveda. Veda itself means wisdom. Vidwan is the one who knows. Vaidya is that which is to be known. So here, when we are looking at Ayurveda, the foundation of Ayurveda is spirituality. Ayurveda does not look at the body as a reductionist expression of just atomic activity. It looks at it as a whole expression of a living universe. And so we cannot speak of wellness purely at an Annamaya Kosha level, at the level of matter. If we are speaking of, for example, you can have all the biomarkers showing perfect health, and then you can still be struggling deep inside and end up taking your own life. Right?
Yeah.
You can show all perfect markers, but you could still be so deeply extroverted and oriented toward the external accumulation of things that your whole tendency towards life is ultimately leading you towards self-destruction. And then you having a long life is actually not in favor of everybody. Right? So, when we are speaking about health, in Ayurveda, we have to really start look at it as a whole thing. We cannot be healthy without understanding, having a deep spiritual foundation. In the Veda, in the Upanishads, the fundamental question that the Rishi is inviting us to discover is, who am I? Who am I? Before this I seeks health, but why does the eye seek health? Is there a fear in the eye, right? Is the eye afraid of disease? In the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, Patanjali brilliantly speaks of that, how a fear of death is found even in the wisest. So is our approach to health purely on a mechanistic, material level? Is our approach to health based on some fear of something going wrong? Or are we approaching well-being from a truly fearless state? Knowing self as boundless consciousness, as unborn, undying. When we can approach health from that positionality, we have no fear. Then we do not outsource our health. We take personal agency in our health. You see, and that is what is a fundamental requirement as per Ayurveda and Yoga, is that we all have to be active participants in birthing a healthy life, not just for ourselves, but for our communities, for our world. Yes? And so, even when we are talking about herbs and all the supplements, I'm sorry, I'm not that well versed. I like smoothies, but I have to try. Did anybody write down, Tommy? You making notes? Smoothie. Our website. After the talk, Tommy. And so, but you can take nutritions and supplements, right? But there is no bioavailability. You can take, if you don't have, you have a weak pranic system, your Mannamaya Kosha is all over the place. Spiritually, you are in a crisis. You can be taking top shelf supplements. You can be shopping at Air One. Nobody shops at Whole Foods because since it's bought by Amazon. At least yogis don't, right? And so you can be shopping at farmer's market and getting top shelf supplements and all of that, but you have no bioavailability because your prana is so weak. If you have high prana, then you might be taking, depending on your economic ability, you might not be able to get top shelf supplements, but your bioavailability of the supplements, whichever supplements you take, is going to be much higher because you have that natural aliveness. Your ability to transmute whatever you consume is much higher and much stronger. For ultimately, whenever you're looking at any matter, for matter is the greatest myth, including this body, right? There is no such thing as matter. There is only activities or events unfolding at different rates. So if you're looking at even a structure, whatever food structure that you're eating, at the base of that food structure is only vibrating space. Yes or no?
Yes.
And so if we are living and approaching health only at a grosser level and not going to the subtler level, that's where Ayurveda and our spiritual sciences are really inviting us to really look at a subtler dimension of life, subtler dimension of self, subtler dimension of the universe. Then our approach to what we are putting in and this kind of neurosis which can sometimes take over the mind, oh, am I eating the right thing? Okay, go to a restaurant, get me everything that is not on the menu. Right? It starts to... You start to, have you ever been with someone? You go to the restaurant and they order peas. Stay at home. And so you have to be a radiant, joyous person. And that's what first yoga, Ayurveda invites you to do. Right? We go to that deep spiritual level to become Shiva. Shiva drinks the poison and transmutes it into nectar. Becomes Nilakantha. We all go to the temple above Rishikesh, right? The ability to transmute whatever we are putting into the body. And that's the power of spirituality. That's the power of yoga. And that's the power of Ayurveda, which is a spirit-based science. Spirituality first, understanding, having a fundamental dinacharya, which is around elevating your consciousness state, having rituals which are helping you elevate your consciousness state, where you're leaning in the direction of evolution. And then from that positionality, which when you start to engage with the relative field of life, then your whole life becomes medicine. All interactions start to become medicine, as Madam was sharing, whether you're working in an office or, you're taking a nap, or you're waking up. Sorry, all the Italians and Spanish people. You got it all wrong. You've been sleeping during the day. You go to Spain, there's siesta. In India, no siesta. It's all open. Right? And so your life becomes a medicine, you see. And that's how I see Ayurveda and the medicine of India. Truly, one of the biggest invitations of Indian medicine is understand who you are. Develop a strong spiritual culture, and then build your life from there. Because if you just go first to the body, then you're going to encounter fear, because clock is ticking. Yes or no? After 100 years, then we will die. After 120 years, and then we will die. Yes? So we are actually, no matter what we are doing, we are dying as we are sitting here. We are just dying. Right. And so that's why we start yoga with Shiva, right? And so my invitation and the way I see Ayurveda is this brilliant science of inviting human beings to become active participants in their life, in their spirituality, and realize once they start to have a deep understanding of who they are, their life starts to become a medicine, their fear goes away, and their attitude towards the journey of life becomes much more holistic. Yes?
Yeah.
All right, I'll pause. And that's sweet.
I love that you talk about life becoming your own medicine and understanding who you are. Alejandra, you talk also about understanding our own nature and talking about rituals and daily practices, and we're all very familiar with the practices of breathing techniques, meditation. In terms of health, in terms of daily living, I'm sure there are challenges that we all have, especially in the Western culture, right? What do you find is kind of the biggest obstacle, the biggest resistance? Where does it come from? at the moment that you are working with your, with your clients, your patients?
Great question. I think ego is one of the hardest things, because ego makes us know that we understand everything and that we are like controlling everything. And when we are in this path of Ayurveda, like all the speakers were saying, Ayurveda is a spiritual science, and we understand that God is in control. When we understand that, we can do like in India, they say, give it to Mother Ganga. I love that, like surrender. But in the East, sometimes we tend to think that we have control in our lives, in everything, in what we are doing, and that makes us sick. So I think that we should learn to practice all the things that connect us to God. That's why we are here. No? Yoga means connection, union with God, union with everything. And as all they were talking about, like Dinacharya and all these practices that Ayurveda recommends, we should always remember that relationships are the food for the soul. Because sometimes when we are talking about Ayurveda, we become like Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and I don't understand. But like simple things, like choose not only the food that you eat, but also the food that you connect. The people is food, the things you see is food, the things you hear is food too. Also, try to nourish yourself with everything that you can find around you. And also like start shifting your thoughts. And we should start like counting our blessings. Yesterday, Sadhvishi at the Arti was saying something beautiful, that we should connect with grateful in our lives, like be grateful for everything. And sorry if I speak like weird, because my native language is Spanish, so I'm trying to think in English. Yeah. You too. I know. It's challenging for us. In Spanish, I will be talking a lot. But we should be grateful. Now, when we shift our mind and we like see things from another perspective, and we try to focus on like the lessons that life brings to us. Everything is a lesson. Instead of complaining about the things, Ayurveda also teaches us to shift our point of view, start seeing things from another place. And everything changed when we start doing this. And also I always like to say to the people that follows me, to follow the advices of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. This is also an Ayurvedic thing. Now take action. We should take action, like the doctor was saying. Now take action. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can take small little steps, but start today. Now, because sometimes we know we should detox, yes. Maybe one day I will do a detox or a panchakarma. Now, we used to say these things. But we should take action now. Small steps, conscious steps. This will bring us like peace and fulfillment. So, answering what Paula was asking, I think that the most important thing is to take conscious actions and try to be grateful.
Beautiful. Thank you. I personally find it very challenging, especially in the last few years, the relationship with wellness and mental health, and that's something that is becoming more common. I myself am a mom of a 17-year-old girl who's a teenager, and pretty much everyone in her classroom is going to therapy because these newer generations are dealing with high levels of anxiety and depression. And that's highly linked not only with their relationship to their body, their relationship to food, but also the relationship with their own inner selves. Would you like to talk about that a little bit? I'll give it to her first, and then you can go ahead. Thank you.
Nowadays, stress is the biggest issue among all ages. even the child has stress, even the elderly people have stress for everything. So we call it stress, but in olden days, this was not there. They used to share with everyone. There were families together. There were elders who were experienced, and they used to share their stories. Don't let the thing come to us to experience. Get the knowledge from the experienced people. When they are elderly, they must have experienced all this in their routine. So even if they are not a Vaidya or anything, but their life experiences gives you so much knowledge. And attend to the spiritual talks. Keep yourself happy. And I don't say compare, but see the miserable people who are not at least in our stage what we are today, and be thankful to what we are today. We don't have problems for any other things. We are well enough. The problems are within ourselves, which we are creating. We can be happy, but we are not. We are picking up small things, putting it in our mind and making it bigger. So this is one part of the stress from every angle. Even if the child is not getting good marks, mothers take result. But as she said, Alejandra said, the ego, keep the ego aside. Make more sattva in you. It is very, very easy with the foods. Actually, the food is the best medicine. As Naramji said, with the simple things which are there in the kitchen, we can make our system more sattvic. Eat sattvic food and make your system more towards the sattva. Then there will be more thinking, more understanding. The nervous system is more clearer. This way you can prevent lot of anxiety inside. If there is something you have to leave, then you have anxiety. Whatever is there, just take some peace and let it be. Take it as it comes. Then you feel a little relaxed inside. You can do much more better than what you will do with the anxiety, what you do running around. So peaceful mind is always very, very important. My father always used to say, there should be a balance. So somebody is not working at home, everybody is working, that person is peaceful. So he is giving you ideas. That idea is enough. It's not that everybody do running around jobs. Think with your brain and sit comfortably. Think of things how to deal with and take relaxing steps. That is the most important thing. People are suffering with insomnia. That is because of the stress. Our mind is working more than the body. If the body is so much working and mind is relaxed, mind says go to sleep, we go to sleep. There is no mind and body coordination. Do Nasika. Nasika is a oil on your little finger, apply into your both nostrils. Just do that. If you don't have any oil, use sesame oil. Good quality sesame oil, cold pressed. So that creates so much space in our brain. And you all know about yoga, meditation, all these things. You are the masters. You people go everywhere and you learn more and more about it. So take simple steps and do according to your capacity only. Don't run around to make it more and more. In Ayurveda also they say, do the exercise according half of your capacity. Not the treadmills, not the running, not the jogging. Just do according. I'm not aware of, but this is what is told. And do, if everything is not possible, do 13 steps of Surya Namaskars. If you are somewhere, you cannot do everything, just do 13 steps of Surya Namaskars. That involves 5 for Pancha Mahabhutas, which are inside our body, 7 for the Dhatus, and 1 is for Pachaka, Agni. So these are the 13 sets of your Surya Namaskars, will give you enough exercise and lot of rest after that. So,
sorry.
Yeah.
We just have a few minutes before we go to open questions. Would you like to say something?
It's very important, and I always talk from my experience, so I want to just share 2 very remarkable stories. So in Ayurveda, there is a specific section, Bhuta Vignan, and it talks about soul and spirits. It says that the soul is eternal, immortal, and basically cannot be diseased. We all know that. But when you have physical toxins, blocking your channels and energies, it will create a gray energy, dark energy, which will cover your own body. So detox is one thing that helps a lot. Now, quickly, I want to just say one thing, mind-body connection. So last time I was in New York working with one of my students, Dr. Steve, deep grief, recent grief, and you are suffering from an old feeling of abandonment. And he instantly, such a huge man, strong man, started crying. Said, I lost my partner 6 months ago. And I was given for adoption when I was just 1 year of age. Since then, I feel I'm not needed by anybody. I feel this fear of abandonment. So every relationship I get in, I am so afraid that I start doubting. If he talks to another man or she talks... he had a, him partner. So he talks to another man, I feel jealous and I think I'm going to lose him. And in the process, I actually lose him because of this, from my behavior. And he had a severe psoriasis. So all these traumatic experiences of childhood brings autoimmune situations in life. I've seen that. Ayurveda says, shok, moha, krodha, all these shocking, sad experiences as a child can trigger immune responses, make it underactive. About psoriasis, home remedies, I don't want to talk that right now. But her question about mind-body connection, a simple thing, I told him every day, I asked him, are you happy with the parents that you were given away? They took care of you. Yeah, my father was good, but the mother was not good. Very, very mean. I said, so he couldn't see good side in his life. So I said, okay, every day say thank you, my dear father, adopted father, for taking care of me. Thank you, thank you. After 3 weeks, I get a message from him that my psoriasis is calming now. So gratitude, expressing gratitude is the best healer in life. The second thing, guilt, and then quickly I want to stop this conversation. The guilt. So we had a client from Germany in the clinic, a young woman, 25, 26 years of age. I checked the pulse. She came for Panchakarma because suddenly in last 6 months, she has a severe brain fog and chronic fatigue. So I checked the pulse and I said, you are suffering from guilt in your heart. And she started crying. She said, yeah, I had 2 miscarriages. I did it myself. And I'm thinking, why I killed a soul? So I said, please remember that everything is controlled by the universe. Have faith in the universe. And tell universe that became so better after the cleansing of Panchakarma that she got her energy back. So thing is that mind and body is very connected. And spirit, all is connected.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anand, would you like to add? Please. Thank you.
I think with the mental health crisis that is going on, there is 2 aspects to it. I think there is one aspect where there is, from my observation and experience, there is an over-labeling as well. Over-diagnosis, which is also very much rampant these days. Specifically in the West, where the reductionist method is what is really applied to single out an isolated problem and then label it. And another thing is we are living in a time which is rapidly technologically growing, and the nervous system is not evolving to keep up. It's not able to keep up with the pace, with the incredibly fast changes that are going on the objective level of reality. Right? So what you find there is an inability to adapt within the nervous system to what's going on in the so-called external reality. And so from the Ayurvedic yogic perspective, the reason might be anything. What is ultimately the disease is the state of not being in alignment with your essential nature. And when I speak of, when we are thinking of disease, I'm not speaking of what someone else labels your experience of life, right? Healing ultimately is you are a healed individual, irrespective of someone's label upon you. Your experience of life is in alignment, like Ashtavakra, right? This great sage who wrote the Ashtavakra Gita, one of the most profound scriptures in yoga, who was born deformed from 8 limbs, right? He was the greatest master. Adiguru Shankaracharya didn't live to be 100 or 110 or 95. He lived to be 32. Incredibly effective life, right? And so he lived a radiant life. So his experience, health is ultimately what is your experience of life, right? It's not what someone else labels you. And I think with the mental health crisis that is going on, we have to really talk about all the 5 koshas, that irrespective that disease, the state of disease can express on any level. It can express on the physiological level, Annamaya kosha level. It can express on the Pranamaya kosha level, on the level of prana and energy and how you observe, see, feel things at subtler level. It can express on the level of thought, mind, worldview. It can express at the level of ideology, which is the Jnanamaya or Ajnanamaya kosha. And it can express at the level of fundamental Anandamaya kosha, where you have no bliss in your life. You feel existential crisis. So when we are talking about healing, irrespective of what's going on at the nervous system level, are we aware of how to even think, or what is even thought? For most people, when we are speaking of thought, very few people actually think. Most people are just tormented by thought. Are you following me or not? Like, how many of you have woken up in the morning and just have thoughts there? Right? Nobody, you don't get up in the morning, say, brush your teeth. Oh, let's have thoughts of self-hatred. Or, oh, what are you going to do today? I'm going to just have anxious thoughts. I'm going to have anxiety. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to go to my office and then think thoughts which give me anxiety. So a person who is experiencing anxiety is obviously not thinking thoughts of anxiety. Yes or no? The thought is just happening, and the individual does not have the ability to transcend thought. And that's why we have to ultimately apply tools, internal tools at the level of Manamaya kosha, then at the level of Jnanamaya kosha. For where is anxiety arising? Why is anxiety arising? What is my worldview? What kind of universe do I live in? As they speak about ego, like we say, okay, I have an ego, my ego is a problem. But then who are you if you have an ego? Yes or no? Like sometimes now these days people talk about, you must have an healthy ego. It's like you must have an healthy ulcer. How do you have one? Ego ultimately doesn't exist. It's a hallucination that the soul has about who it thinks it is. It doesn't actually exist. If you examine, you don't find ego. Yes or no? So ego only, your Jnanamaya kosha, you are Ajnani, you are Avedic, then you are preparing for disease, right? In order to be healthy and virtuous, we have to really go to all levels. Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manamaya kosha, Jnanamaya kosha, and Anandamaya kosha. Yes or no? You know, the Italians, they eat a lot of pasta. Italians? Any Italians? See, pasta and pizza. You go to these people, but they love eating and they celebrate. And they, like, I've never seen a nationality so in love with their food. Like when they come to Sattva also, the Italians go to their bathroom and make pasta. I'm not kidding. They make a kitchen in the bathroom and make pasta. And so they're eating so much carbs, right? Which does not give you lean muscle, but that yet they are outliving. Because they are laughing, they are sharing. And that's one of the beauties of India. In India, we share food together, we eat together, we pray before we eat. So it's not just even what you're eating, but what is the consciousness state you are bringing to what you're eating. Do you have Ananda in your heart? And now, you know, it is so beautiful if you could just be happy. Hey, be happy. Right? Like that song, don't worry, be happy. Right? But the guy was worried singing that song. Because it's a great advice. But you can't just be happy. You have to develop the ability. Happiness is a consequence of growth. If you are spiritually growing, then happiness is a side product of it. A life which is a pursuit of happiness, then we will not come out with solutions. We will just degrade the body of knowledge to what it is not. And I think that's the invitation of Ayurveda and yoga and the mental health crisis. I truly think that if we apply this integrated approach, then we have the capacity to heal irrespective of what is the label. That our experience of life can be healed. That's what matters, not what somebody else says. It's about taking agency in our hands. Are you with me or not?
Yeah.
If you are comfortable in your body, then nobody gets to tell you. If you are truly joyous, if you look at Neem Karoli Baba, have you seen his pictures? Neem Karoli Baba? He has not a healthy BMI index. If he went to an Ashtanga class, he would not graduate to the secondary series. He won't be able to finish the primary. Yes or no? And yet he was one of the greatest masters to ever lived in India. With extra fat and all. Because that's the state he's vibrating at, such life force energy. And I think that's the beauty of this body of knowledge, that it really is a medicine which liberates us. It's not a medicine which generates fear and how can I save myself till I die. Right? It's about how can I live in freedom and become deathless. So when my body goes to the burning ground or to the grave, I am still free. Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandra. So, thank you. We have a little time left for a couple of questions. So, yes? I want to pass the mic. Please, you can come. I meet you somewhere. I can walk, right? How about wireless? I forgot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for the talk. And you spoke about marmas. So I would like to, if you could speak a bit more about marmas and health. And if you could give us some examples where it can help us in our daily life, in general health.
Lovely question. So I just want to show you 3 marmas that people can instantly use in their life. The first one is for sleeping and calming your mind, especially when there's huge anxiety in the marma, very important for everybody. Other marma for fear. So people who have fear, they can use this marma specifically before going for a talk or some presentation. Everybody has fear. So just put your feet flat on the ground and under the nose. This is a very ancient marma. Just press it with your finger. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the marma for fear. Generally, after 6 or 12 or 18 times pressing, you feel very calm. I'm helping a classical singer, very popular one in India, extremely popular singer. And every time, even today, when he has to sing, he gets this fear. So he presses this marma 3-4 times a day. So it's very good for releasing the fear. And the last one is forgive and forget, because we always carry our traumatic experiences almost forever in our life, which has impact on us. We always say, I should not have done this, or he should not have done this, or my parents should not have done, or my sibling or my friend should not have bullied me in the school, that's why I'm like this. So this is the forgive and forget marma. On the left hand, this is the left hand, you can all do it with me. This put it like this, and on the just inside, in the junction of this thumb and the index finger, there is this murmur point here. And I've seen it is very effective because people who suffer from this constant blaming, self-blaming, or blaming others, this is extremely good. You can press this murmur with your thumb. Can I take your help just to hold it so I can show? Sorry, thank you. Thank you. So, index finger, I was trying to do it with my both hands, but wasn't possible. Then I realized I have a mic. So, thumb and this index finger just inside this here. Yeah, so you will find a bone, and just inside this bone, when you press it, if you have a blame thing going on, you will get a pain in your life, okay? So press it